join me for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And welcome to the October 28th Planning Board meeting. Please be aware of the fire exit. It's to the left in this room. In the event of an emergency, please move in a calm and orderly fashion down the stairs and do not use the elevator. The meetings are recorded by the secretary for the purposes of a record and minutes, so please identify yourself each time you come to the podium and speak in the microphone. The board will follow the items in the order in which they appear on the agenda, and there are extra copies of the agenda near the door. After each case is called, the applicant and/or representative shall come to the podium, identify him or herself, give his or her address, and then present their case. The planning board members will then have an opportunity to question the applicant. If this case is a public hearing, and tonight's applications both are, it will be open to public input, at which time anyone wishing to speak to the board regarding the application will come to the podium, identify themselves along with their address, and direct any questions to the board. Once all public input has been completed, the applicant or site representative will be given an opportunity to respond to any public input, and once that all public input is complete and all questions have been satisfactorily answered, the case will be closed to public input and the board will move on to discussion. At that point, no further conversation between the applicant and the board will happen unless the board has a question. Can we call the first case?
We can. PB 1910-1, upon the matter of request by 1700 Hudson Avenue LLC for revised site plan approval to convert the existing building into a 65-unit storage facility with new ADA compliant ramp on premises 1700 Hudson Avenue in an M manufacturing district.
And the applicant or his representative want to join us? Thank you.
My name is David Burrows, architect. I live at 64 Erie Crescent in Fairport, and I'm the architect for 1700 Hudson Partners of Properties LLC for the conversion of the building to storage. The workshop that I was at 2 weeks ago raised a few questions about lighting and the ramp. We have since provided information that hopefully answers most of those issues, but I'm happy to elaborate on some of the responses to those. One correction that I did make that is in this set is the width of the aisle next to the handicap parking spot. ADA requires it to be 8 feet. It was 6 feet on the previous version. Another question that was raised was about the length and height of the ramp. This ramp is a 1-in-12 slope, and the floor level to grade where the ramp occurs is 27 inches. So the ramp is 28 feet long, so that it's a little less than 1-in-12 slope. It's a little gentler than 1-in-12, which that 27-foot length or 28-foot length puts the low part, or the start of the ramp, maybe 12 feet or 12 to 14 feet from the corner of the building, so that it does not get near the tree. We're able to save the tree and most of the lawn. We're clear of a drain, and we're using the existing paved area, which pitches slightly away from the building to absorb some of the requirement for the slope. It's hard to see in the photograph, but on A5, there's a photograph of a brick wall that is about at the low point of the ramp, and there's a red pencil that I pushed into the mortar joints that's at the floor line. So you can see that that red pencil, which is almost invisible, is 27 inches above grade. So that's kind of the documentation behind the design of the ramp being 1-in-12. Basically, the design is as it was presented 2 weeks ago. The other question that occurred then was about the lighting. We're abandoning the existing, probably a high-pressure sodium light up in the peak and replacing that with a LED light, which is shown on A3. Williams, it's a Williams Company light manufacturer. The WPTZ is an LED wall-mounted light that is the same as what's on the apartment building recently built across the way from this building. Those light fixtures show up on A4. And I added today a page after A5, which is from the manufacturer that shows these lights turned on a building, so you can see the effect of those lights. I could elaborate on the light pattern. There's a sheet from the manufacturer on A3, that little graph that shows the light pattern radiating from the source of the light. So that's a plan view of the light pattern. The light is at the center of it, and imagine this being on the wall of the building looking down. So it's kind of a broad and shallow light pattern so that it doesn't spill out far into the parking lot. It stays close to the building and provides lighting just as needed below the light source itself. So probably it's the right kind of light to use for this application, and it'll eliminate the ramp. I guess I've probably said more than I need to, but I'm ready to answer any questions you have.
Why don't we go ahead and start with Mr. Evelyn?
You know what the Kelvin rating is on these wall packs?
No.
Okay.
According to the spec, I can just tell you it says it's 5,000,
Okay.
What do we normally call out, Alan?
4,000 or less.
Okay. So that will be a condition. I don't know if these are able to achieve it. I think that's a minimum, right? That it says there 5,000 is a minimum.
Could just be for the one that's.
Oh, right, this is the medium, from what I saw on the website, there is another one. So I assume it's smaller than this.
Okay.
I'm curious to see where you see the Kelvin rating. Is it on these
If I
sheets?
look in the LED package,
Oh, I see it.
example L38/750 on page 6 or A3, it's sort of in the center on the left-hand side in that box.
Says LED package right about the middle of the left side of that page.
Other page.
Oh, on the page on the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then it says minimum CRI, and it says 750 CRI or 5,000 K.
Kelvin.
So that would issue 5,000
That's
is a very
indicating
blue
to
light.
me,
We
yeah.
prefer a yellow
Okay.
natural light, which would be a 4,000 or less.
So it's up to us to look into an alternative to this that is in the 4,000 K max Kelvin rating?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Michael, did you have anything else?
That's it.
I just would like a clarification. So in your testimony tonight, you said that the finished floor to grade is 27 inches. Drawing A1 indicates 40 inches, and drawing A2 indicates 28 inches. So I just want to
Oh,
be
okay,
very
yeah,
clear
that's,
on what it really
got it.
is.
Okay, so that's old preliminary information based on a previous ramp design. I should have crossed that 40 off. When I was there last week and took those photographs, I measured with a tape measure, it's 27 inches.
27, okay. Okay, I'm all set, Mr. Acting Chairman.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that 40 inches also appears on A2 where it says existing loading dock, so my apologies for not correcting those.
Mr. Palermo, do you have anything?
I do not.
Great.
No,
Mary?
I have nothing.
Brad, great. And I just want to make sure, we talked about the parking, and I know the town board was going to get back to you, and I know that we've had some discussion regarding, are we in line with the parking? they're meeting their minimum requirement?
I believe that they are. Staff can confirm that. If there was an issue where that was a required approval, we would navigate the applicant through that board as well if needed. I don't believe that's the case here, though.
All right. Thank you. We're all set. I'm going to
Okay.
go ahead and open
Thanks
up
very
the
much.
public hearing. Is there anybody here that would like to step forward and state your name and give us your address?
Sure. My name is Dr. Roderick Davis. I'm one of the owners of Portland Pediatric Group. We rent 28 Gale Haven Court, Rochester is where I live. We rent 1700 Hudson Avenue right now. We've been there for a number of years. I don't have a map, but if you take a look when you pull in from Hudson, our building is on the right. The new, I think it's called 1700 something, the apartment building that was just built a couple of years ago is on the left, we are on the right.
Yep.
So we are renting half of the building that would then convert the other half to the storage facility. To make a long story short, my concern is for the safety of our charges, right? So when you pull in, we have parking on both sides. We are quite fearful about increasing traffic through what we believe not to be a thoroughfare, but a parking lot. We have, so on Wednesday, we'll have a flu clinic. We'll have a minimum of 150 children with parents coming in and out of our building in 12 hours. Some of these, most of them are moms coming in with a kid in tow very often, to more following, and I have grave concerns about what this might do, especially since storage facilities, if this facility ends up being anything like the one that I rent, very often it's people moving things in rental trucks. Yeah, they want to move their winter stuff in, move their summer stuff out, and vice versa. Very often they don't have the facilities to do that, so they're renting trucks to do it. Or we're moving, so we have to put something in storage, while we decorate the house so that we can sell it. My concern is that I'm not positive that that's a really safe situation or environment for our kids and for our families. One thought that I had, and I don't even know if this is doable, but it would seem that there's multiple access points to that point, and I'm wondering about the possibility of putting a fence from the, I guess it would be the west corner of the new apartment building over to our building, which would basically create an environment in which our patients could pull in. No one could pull all the way through, so there wouldn't be the full traffic putting them at risk. I talked to I talked to one of my partners, talked to one of the chiefs of the fire department, who said you can install on those fences a Knox box that they can easily access to, in a situation in which they need to be able to get through there, they can instantly kind of pass through that fence. So I guess I would present, if there is any way possible, if this is going to be approved, that we aren't going to put 150 kids' lives at risk. And I don't mean that people are going to be zooming through there, but I have people that are going to be renting trucks that never rented trucks before. I have moms that have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids in tow, crossing what really isn't supposed to be a street, but are supposed to be walking through a parking lot. So I would make a bid that our only concern is for the safety of the kids.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak to this matter? I'm going to invite the applicant to come back up to address if the applicant would like to do that.
Hi, I'm Greg Carver. I'm the owner of 1700 Hudson Avenue. And I met with Dr. Davis this morning. I had emailed him after I put the public hearing sign up to let him know what we were planning, and he wanted to speak with me, so we met today, so I'm well aware of his concerns. From his perspective, if the gate was approved by the town, I would have no problem with that, assuming that emergency vehicles could get back behind. And I've spoken with the other tenant, which is McInnes Tool, which is my business partner's company. They're also behind there, and he would be fine with this gate as well. So from my tenant perspective, we would have no problem with this, and certainly we want to protect the kids at the doctor's office, so, I'm not opposed to this, and I guess I have, this came to me just today, so I don't have any more plans or anything to add to you, but, I'm not opposed to it, and I certainly understand his concerns, and I'm willing to help him out and, and also help me out get this project done.
Great, thank you. With that, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. And I guess we were just presented with some new information.
And just to clarify for this board, there are no standards or requirements as far as fencing goes in commercial properties. Our zoning code only outlines rules and regulations for the location and sizing of fencing in residential districts. So this board could contemplate that addition or that change to the application. And if you felt very strongly about a fencing type or height or however that you felt about that, you could describe that in your deliberation, or if you, so there's, it's, you have discretion as far as fencing goes for commercial property.
I don't want to play devil's advocate here or anything, but I understand the concern, I understand the solution, but how many people are we going to be directing onto Eagle Ridge Circle by doing that? The people that live in the apartment building.
So I wanna piggyback on that comment real quick, and my concern is that we don't actually have an overall site plan in front of us on paper here that I'm seeing to even analyze what we're talking about right now.
Right.
I don't have anything that shows me the adjacent, I don't have property lines, I don't have adjacent buildings, I don't have curb cuts, I have nothing to show me that there's even another viable traffic pattern possible here.
Well, and my question would be, once we install a fence, then what are we doing to allow access back to the property that we're considering? I understand the safety concern, believe you me, I do. And I also understand that there's more than one way in there. So am I, because I entered through Eagle Ridge and know that you can do that. I'm not sure that the fence, if I directed traffic over to Eagle Ridge to the entrance that's further north, then I would be taking care of the other businesses concerned. But I'm not sure that we have that ability to do that, and I'm asking staff, I'm sure we do, we can direct it, but it is a private property. And I don't want to sound confused here, I just don't know, is somebody going to man that gate? Do we have what if I'm a new applicant, or a new
Well, I think
renter?
this is why I think we need to see a site plan that can show us this, because we can't even discuss the traffic patterns if we can't see them and understand what we're talking about.
I agree. We need a lot more information if we're going to make such a drastic change in this. This is a big time change, and there's just no overall plan. We don't see any placement of a fence, where or when.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even indicate on a drawing right now where I would be proposing the fence to go at the moment.
One thought to consider, and I'm only going to throw this out there as an option. Fencing can't be installed by way of a permit without the planning board's approval. So, would you want to potentially contemplate the application as it was presented without the fence, and indicate if a fence is going to be installed, they come back with the application for a fence permit? In other words, consider the application that's before you without the addition of a fence, and if they decide or deem that a fence is really appropriate or something that they would really like to explore, they can make a fence application to the planning board.
I'd be also interested if the two men would sit down and discuss any alternatives. I mean, it can't
Yeah, and I
be-
mean, I also think that it's worthwhile, discussing or having the applicant discuss at some point here what they perceive the traffic from this to actually be. I mean, from our standpoint, I design and have built self-storage facilities, and we joke, and it is kind of a joke, but it's also very true, that the only business that has less traffic than a self-storage facility is a graveyard.
Yeah.
Because there is once your stuff goes in the facility, it stays there, and you generally aren't in and out all that much. So I don't even know that traffic is a concern that we need to be necessarily mandating a fence to change the traffic patterns. I
Right.
guess my point was, without seeing an overall site plan, I don't even know what we're talking about at the moment.
Plus, the scenario he painted was a scenario of one day
Right.
flu shots. I mean, and I don't think we do flu shots 365, so
No, and I mean,
he could hire someone to direct the traffic.
at some point, this was also a business in the back here, and there was no fence. And I don't know if there was an operating business out of this proposed self-storage area while the pediatrics facility was operational or not. But at some point, there was another business back here, and there was no fence there. So again, I'm struggling with, I can't see what I'm even talking about right now. That's my problem.
Maybe we could get some more, Greg, more information from the owner about what we can't see.
I agree with you, Spencer. I 100% agree with the first assessment that the traffic should be low for the self-storage facility. We've seen that over and over again in the applications that we've looked at. So I'm not sure that it is a huge concern to begin with. And then secondly, the fence, I just looked at it on the aerial on Google Street View, and it's kind of opening a box of worms because there's many access points, and it's going across. It's cutting it would cut parking in.
Yeah, we got to talk about
in
snow
half
removal in a different fashion now.
for
if we're
the
gonna
other
talk about a fence.
apartments, and it's not that I think that it's not unworkable, but I just don't feel like I have all the information that I would need to make a good decision.
I hear what everybody is saying. I definitely do.
And there's certainly a number of valid alternatives, even if a fence doesn't turn out to be, raised crosswalks, speed humps, those sorts of things, that are a little less intrusive, but slow traffic down. I mean, I know we put in a lot of raised crosswalks at my 9 to 5, and it slows traffic down. That's a beautiful thing.
Right,
And you don't segment this parking lot into two, for.
I think the fence is going to be problematic all around for everybody. I think that speed bumps would be a much better alternative for everybody. Just with it being a residential area to the north of it and a pediatric business to the west of it, that would tend to slow things down. And I'm sure that if I had my choice between a fence and a speed bump at this point, I would be with the speed bump. Until this came before us today on the pediatric care, I knew it was there. I didn't understand the amount of traffic. 150 kids at one time is a lot of traffic, but I also know that it's probably not an everyday occurrence.
Well, I mean, from what we discussed with parking previously, I mean, I don't know that they can park 150. Granted, if you got 150 kids, you don't have
Right.
150 cars, but
Well,
there
I
isn't
think that's
parking there
over the
for-
course of a day.
Understood. That's why I'm saying this information doesn't necessarily jive with what we're analyzing, I think, too.
I guess what I'm going to ask folks is, if we were to do this now, what are you most comfortable doing? And that would be
20 kids an hour.
taking it back to the applicant and asking them to make some new drawings for us, either their choice or our choice, or proceeding with either a fence option or no fence option, a speed bump option or no speed bump option, or just approving it as it came before us. And I'll start with you, Mr. Huber, since you look like you're ready.
I don't like the idea of approving the plan that we have in front of us tonight and then telling them that they can come back with the fence at a later time, because I think that that's allowing that concern to stand unaddressed and may never be addressed if the applicant never comes back for the fence, and we can't make them do that. From our preliminary discussion, the idea of speed humps, bumps, raised crosswalks, something along those lines seems more advantageous to me, because it's a win-win for everyone there. It's a win for the people who are in the apartment, it's a win for the pediatric, it's a win for the storage facilities, because it's slowing traffic down for everyone involved. Whereas the fence would be breaking a current traffic pattern and really only only really serving the pediatric place while putting everybody else in an uncomfortable position. But I don't really necessarily can't really make a strong conclusion there because we don't have a site plan where I can really see the details of how a fence would impact that and where exactly they want that fence to be located. Those are my thoughts.
Good thoughts.
Mary?
Oh, I think he just covered it. It's too bad that they didn't get together before this. I think that's the reason why we have these signs put out, so that people can get together and talk about it. But I gotta go along with what Brad's saying.
Michael?
I too. It's just, leaving it open like this, I'm not comfortable with
Yeah.
with doing nothing.
Okay.
I think the only way we could try to do anything tonight would be to mandate some sort of speed bump or crosswalk. Again, my problem is I don't know where to even say to put that. I can't even give directions
Right.
verbally to try to put a condition on it at the moment. And I think we're usually pretty good about doing that, but I'm not even sure how to wordsmith that so that it makes sense at the moment.
Can't we just deny?
Well, we don't, I'm trying to get a
Yeah, we're trying
sense
to
of
get a feel
where
for-
Mr. Evelyn would be and if you're through.
I would like to leave the application open and have them come back with some sort of pedestrian safety measure, be it a fence or some other guidance.
And I think I've expressed how I feel about this. I just have a quick question for the applicant. Hearing what you are hearing from the board members right now, do you have any decision that you would like to present us with?
I'm just gonna need you to come back up to the podium, though, for
Yep.
the purposes of our viewing audience at home.
No, I think I need time to, I'll take in the board's decision into my mind, and then we'll come up with something. So if it needs to be, I'd come
Would
back.
you like us to hold
come
this
back.
until
Yes.
next month?
That would be great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, and with that, we are going to entertain a motion to, at the applicant's request, to hold this application, which would be PB 19101. Table it, I'm sorry. Do I have a motion?
I would make that motion. I would also like to add to that motion that they, when they come back, they also come back with revised lighting information per our discussion tonight.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Everybody in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? And one absent. Thank you. And thank you. We will see you next month, and I appreciate you working with us tonight. We can go ahead and call the next case.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to recuse myself before the next case is called.
Thank you.
I'm glad I arrived at you.
And I'll give Mr. Huber a moment to exit the room so that he doesn't feel rushed.
Hurry it up.
Sit down. He'll sit in that chair.
Case number PB 1910-2, upon the matter of request by Erica Schleifer for signage approval to replace an existing signage panel and 2 awnings on premises 620 Titus Avenue in a Muck mixed-use commercial district.
Hello, I'm Erica Schleifer. I live at 4185 St. Paul Boulevard. My renderings here are, the proposal is to add a sign where there was an existing sign, and also to add 2 logoed awnings where there were 2 logoed awnings.
Great. That's easy, huh?
I hope, I don't know. Yeah, just the.
I think we did have a couple questions.
Okay.
At the workshop. And one had to do with the color of the awnings
They're navy blue.
all the way around.
Yes, yes. They're actually quite similar to what was there, which was just more of a royal blue, going along with the logo of the former superintendent.
The photos that we had just had, some of them look purple and.
Yeah,
then-
well,
yeah.
yes, I agree. It's
And I'm sure
not
that was-
purple. I could guarantee you. Actually, I have the paint chip in my purse if it was. No, it's called In the Navy or something. Yes, I am not a purple person. so.
And then the lighting, there's currently
Floodlights.
something
Yeah.
going on out there. Can you explain to us what you're wanting to do?
Nothing. They're there. They're going to stay. They've been there probably 30 years.
The lights
The
that are
flood,
currently
yeah,
there?
there's a flood on either side of the fence, or sorry, the side. So much to talk about fence. And they've been there, and nothing's going to be changed with the type of lighting that's always been there.
The only thing that we have been requesting and actually imposing folks to do is a illumination period that would include 1 hour prior to the opening of your business and then
Oh.
extinguishing them 2 hours after the close of
Yes,
your
they're on
business.
timers.
And that would be the max. I mean, you can obviously do no time before your business opens and shut them off when you close. That's up to you, but that would be the max that we would allow,
Okay.
and they're on timers at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does anybody else have any questions? I know it was pretty simple when we were at the workshop.
Yeah, the only thing I want to confirm is that so you're replacing two awnings.
Yes.
There's-
There's going to be plain fabric, but
Oh,
yeah,
so
they're
you're-
already up there.
So they're all changing.
Yeah.
All the awnings will be the same color is the question I'm asking.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
Amazing. That is my question, and
Yes.
that is the answer I was looking for.
Yes, but only those two in the front that had logos on them. Now there'll be a different logo. That's
Great.
Problem solved.
I have no questions.
No question.
Mary? Thank you very much. And I'd like to go ahead and open up the public hearing. Seeing no one, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. And I believe we're all set with this.
I just want to point out we got a nice letter from Ms. Burns and Mr. Goldblatt, speaking in support of the application.
Yep. And it is nice for HIP to come and give us their input. With that, I would entertain a motion.
You might
I'm
wanna
sorry.
just
This
mention
is
that it's type
a
2.
type 2 action for seeker. And after that, I would go ahead and entertain a motion on the application.
I would be happy to put a motion forth. With regard to application PB 1910-2, I would like to make the motion that we approve the application as presented with one condition, which is that the sign lighting turn on no more than 1 hour prior to the business opening and be turned off no more than 2 hours after the business closes.
Is there anything else? Can I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There's one absence and one recusal. This motion carried. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks.
Mr. Huber, you can come back and join us.
Oh, hi, Brad.
Do you want your agenda back?
No, you please. I'd hate to.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Sorry, I scared you at the beginning of the meeting.
And I believe that the only other piece of business we have tonight is the approval of the minutes. I'm assuming everybody has had a chance to look them over.
After a good looking over, I would say that I would make a motion to approve them as submitted.
Great. Do I have a second?
Second.
Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
You'll get it from me.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Irondequoit Planning Board on ICAT, Government Access. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Irondequoit Planning Board on ICAT Government Access.